2:47 a.m. Your eyes snap open, no alarm, no noise, no reason. But something pulled you out of sleep, and your heart is already racing before your mind even catches up. You lie there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself, why am I awake right now? What if I told you that wasn't random? What if that exact moment, that exact second your eyes opened, was the safest moment of your entire day? And what if going back to sleep was the most dangerous decision you could make? Because right now, while you're watching this video, something is happening in the spirit realm that most Christians are never told about. Something is being planned against you tonight. And the only reason you're still awake is because someone is trying to warn you. The question is, will you listen or will you roll over and lose the one chance you were given? Stay with me till the end, because by the time this video's over, you're going to understand exactly why 3 a.m. isn't just a time, it's a battlefield, and you're going to know exactly what to do the next time it happens to you. Here's what nobody tells you about the night. The world doesn't stop when you close your eyes. It keeps moving, it keeps working, and so does everything you can't see. You ever notice how almost every act of wickedness, every scheme, every ambush, every betrayal in Scripture happens under the cover of darkness? Why do you think that is? Because darkness isn't just the absence of light, it's the enemy's preferred operating hours. 1 John 5:19 says the whole world lies in wickedness. Not part of it, the whole world. And that world doesn't clock out at night, it clocks in. So while you're asleep, defenseless, unaware, unconscious of everything happening around you, who's covering you? Matthew 13:25 gives us the answer, and it should shake you. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat. While men slept, not while they were distracted, not while they were sinning, while they were sleeping, doing nothing wrong, just resting. And that's exactly when the enemy moved. So ask yourself, if the enemy's favorite move is to strike while you're unconscious, why would God let you stay unconscious? He wouldn't. This is the part most churches won't tell you plainly. The devil knows something about you that you don't fully understand about yourself. A sleeping man cannot pray. A sleeping man cannot resist. A sleeping man cannot even see the attack coming. So when God wakes you up, that's not an accident. That's not your body malfunctioning. That's not just stress. That's an alarm going off in the spirit realm, and you're the only one who can hear it. But here's where it gets dangerous, because the second you open your eyes, something else notices too, and it doesn't want you to stay awake. Have you ever noticed how the moment you wake up to pray, the sleepiness hits 10 times harder than any other moment of the day? You can wake up for your phone, you can wake up for a noise outside, but the second you try to pray, your body suddenly feels like it's been drugged. That's not tiredness, that's resistance. Even Jesus' own disciples felt it. In the Garden of Gethsemane, in the most critical hour of their lives, they couldn't keep their eyes open. Not because they didn't care, because something was working against them staying awake. So if it happened to them, what makes you think it isn't happening to you right now? Let's go deeper, because this pattern shows up again and again in Scripture, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Jacob was alone at night, at a place called Peniel, when he was suddenly confronted in the dark. He didn't get to choose the timing. He didn't get to prepare. He was ambushed by something he couldn't fully see, and he had to wrestle through the night just to receive his breakthrough. By morning, he wasn't the same man. His name changed. His destiny changed. But only because he didn't let go in the dark. What if some of your sleepless nights aren't attacks at all, but wrestling matches for a blessing you haven't received yet? Then there's Elijah, exhausted, afraid, lying under a juniper tree wanting to die. And in the middle of his lowest night, an angel woke him, not to condemn him, not to punish him, but to feed him, strengthen him, and prepare him for what was coming next. Sometimes God wakes you up not because you're under attack, but because you're about to be sent somewhere, and he needs you ready. So here's the question you need to sit with. When you wake up tonight, will you assume it's random, or will you finally ask what it's actually for? Here's the trap, and it's working on people every single night. The moment you wake up, a voice, soft, familiar, comforting, tells you it's fine. Go back to sleep. You're tired. God understands. You can pray in the morning. It sounds so reasonable. That's what makes it dangerous, because the enemy isn't going to announce himself. He's not going to sound evil. He's going to sound like common sense. Think about how many times this has already happened to you. You wake up, you feel that nudge, and instead of praying, you check the time, sigh, and pull the blanket back over your shoulder. You didn't feel like you were choosing anything, but you were. Every time you believe that voice and roll back over, what did you just hand over without even realizing it? Job 44 says God speaks once, twice, and yet we proceed no further. We don't act. We don't notice. We just go back to sleep on the very warning that was sent to save us. How many nights has this already happened to you? How many warnings have you already slept through? And how many of the problems you're facing right now started as a warning you were too tired to answer? But listen, this isn't a story about fear without a way out. This is a story about the ones who listened. Peter was chained in a prison cell, hours from execution. No trial left, no appeal, just a countdown to death. And in the middle of the night, an angel woke him up. Peter could have thought it was a dream. He could have rolled over. Instead, he got up and walked straight out of a prison that should have held him. His obedience in that one moment saved his life. Samuel was just a boy when he heard his name called in the dead of night. He didn't recognize the voice at first, but when he finally answered, "Speak, for your servant is listening," his whole destiny changed in that instant. Both of them were asleep. Both of them were woken up. Both of them had a choice in the dark. What if the only difference between their breakthrough and someone else's disaster was simply whether they got up? Now here's what most people never ask. Okay, so if this is real, what do I actually do when it happens? It's simple, but it's not easy. The moment your eyes open, before you check your phone, before you look at the clock, before your mind starts wandering. Speak. Even one sentence. Lord, show me what's happening. Cover me. Fight for me. You don't need a 45-minute prayer. You need obedience in that first 60 seconds. Because that's the window the enemy is counting on you to waste. The sleepiness will hit harder the moment you try. Push through it anyway. That resistance you feel is confirmation, not coincidence. And if nothing seems to be wrong, pray anyway. Because the whole point is that you don't always get to see what you're being protected from. A man who prays for 1 hour at night carries more spiritual weight than a man who prays for 3 hours in the day. Even Jesus knew this. It's why he spent entire nights in prayer while everyone else slept. So now ask yourself the real question. The next time your eyes open at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for no reason you can explain, what are you going to do? Are you going to check your phone? Are you going to sigh and force yourself back to sleep? Or are you finally going to understand that you were just handed a warning most people sleep straight through? The next time you wake up in the dark, don't ask, "Why am I up?" Ask, "What is God trying to show me right now?" Because he already sees what's coming for you. The only question left is whether you'll be awake to stop it. Drop "Lord, open my spiritual eyes" if you're believing God to wake you up for a reason from now on. And if this spoke to you, don't scroll past it. Share it with someone who needs to hear this tonight. Subscribe, because next time we're going deeper into what the enemy does.